I just got a box of mystery Squishmallows in the mail. I wonder which ones we're gonna get. Let's find out. We've got a little orange Squishmallow. His name is Oren, and it's very, very cute. Next up is Dabney, who is an adorable little fox, and I really, really love this fur and the little color gradations. And oh my goodness, look, it even has some glitter in the ears. And finally, the third one is this super, super cute dragon, I'm guessing, and her name is Celestina. So these are the 3 Squishmallows we got in the mystery box, and our task today is to create kawaii art, polished, professional, inspired by one of these cuties. Which one is it going to be? Now all 3 of them are super, super cute. This Squishmallow has got this like little nice glitter and it's got some fur on it. But the Celestina is the most interesting of them all because check this out. We still do have a little bit of glitter in the little horns. We have lots of interesting features. The horns, the ears, and the adorable little wings. And we've got this beautiful rainbow pattern going on, this ombre pattern. And on top of that, there's actually a snakeskin 3D dimensional texture going on. And I'm going to show you how to create kawaii art inspired by a cute plushie like this, step by step by step in Procreate. Now, you don't need to use Procreate. I'm going to show you how to do this in Procreate, but you actually can use any program, or you can even draw by hand if you prefer. The principles are exactly the same. What I'm going to share with you today is how to actually take a 3-dimensional object like a plushie with all the features that I just told you about and convert a 3-dimensional object into a kawaii drawing that looks super, super cool. Are you ready? Let's jump in. Let's go, Celestina. So let's analyze what we've got here. If you were to remove all of the little pieces on the peripheries, you would pretty much have an egg shape, right? Would you agree? It's like a blob. Oh, too bad we don't get to see the tail from the front because that's super adorable, but we still have the wings and everything. But let's forget about them for now and just look at the overall shape. So let's start our drawing by drawing a symmetrical egg shape. Now here I'm in Procreate. I've got a canvas that is 4000 pixels by 4000 pixels. And I'm telling you this as a reference for brush sizes and things like that. But you know, you don't have to use this size, use whatever works for you. But this is the one that I'm using so that the image is big enough if I do decide at some point to use it for some other purpose. So we've got a new layer, and the pencil, like the brush that I'm going to use is my drawing pencil, Tat's pencil. All of the brushes, like these, my signature brushes, you can download absolutely free. The link is in the description next to the video. So I'm going to grab my pencil brush and I'm going to grab, I don't know, like a purple color, just something dark. I'm actually really into drawing with purple right now, so we're going to do a purple outline, but sketch as well, we're going to do purple. So I like to start my drawings by just creating a vertical guide, and if you see, Procreate actually helped complete the line for me because I drew and I held the pencil down. This is called quick shape, and if I put my finger down, that's actually gonna lock it perfectly vertical. So if you are in Procreate, this is super, super, super useful. Now I've got my line and I'm going to create a new layer right here. Now I'm gonna draw my egg shape. So see, we want to do the egg shape that is kind of symmetrical on the left and on the right, looking the same. So one of the things that you can do here is just draw one half of it. Like this looks pretty good. And since I am left-handed, I'm drawing the right part first because that's like within my comfort arc movement of my hand. This way I have to go against my muscles to draw this side. So that's why I like to draw the right side first. And then what you can do is you can just duplicate it over. So in Procreate, you can take your 3 fingers and swipe down on a screen. That will give you an extra menu and you can say duplicate. And that will create a copy. And then you can say flip horizontal and then you can just move it over until it looks about right. And this is looking way too fat, so we're gonna fix that. Let's pinch the two layers together that we just created, and now we'll go to the selection tool, and you want to go to freeform selection so that you can scale it, you know, not proportionally, but you can actually make our Celestina a little bit skinnier. So you can see that she's kind of like an egg shape, but not like, I still perceive her to be a little bit longer in this dimension than in this dimension. So that's what I'm kind of creating here. This is my base, and so much of kawaii art is actually based on this egg shape. We even have a name for it in my course and in my membership. We call him Eggy. You know, we start with an Eggy. Step 1, sketch the character. Now we've got our basic shape in place. Let's start adding features like eyes and belly and all the nice stuff. So I'm gonna go and make a new layer as much as possible, especially in the sketch phase. I like to keep creating new layers so that I have flexibility to move things around. So let's say we are doing the belly, and I'm gonna keep referring to this plushie right here. Now, if you were to consider, like if you were to measure top to bottom, the belly is probably roughly halfway up, just a little bit below half. And there is actually an extra section down here that is bulging out, but for the purposes of the cuteness, I'm gonna skip that. And you will see that as we progress through the drawing, I'm actually gonna cutify and modify this plushie to bump up its cuteness factor. This is, you know, my art, my rules, right? You are the master of your drawing, so you get to decide how you do stuff. And I decide to chop this part off and just keep the belly. So I'm gonna say that the belly goes up roughly halfway up this egg shape. And so all it is just a little curving shape. And again, you could just duplicate it, or I'm gonna show you another way to fix up your shapes in Procreate right here. And if you're drawing in pencil, then you just have to like erase and redraw. So I love doing character design in Procreate because I can test out different combinations so quickly, as you will see. So I have a line in place, a line, and now I want to play around with it. So look, it's on its own layer, so I can just select it. I feel like it's too short, so I can just bump it up, I can move it around. And let's say I'm not fully happy with its shape, which I'm not. I feel like maybe this side needs to come out a little bit more. So I'll show you another super cool trick for character design in Procreate. You can use the liquify filter to literally shape and mold your lines like you would clay. So you go to the adjustments menu and you go liquify, and you want to make your brush pretty big. And look, you can just drag it and shape it until your cuteness meter says, yes, that's enough. And you know, it's okay if it's not perfectly symmetrical, because that sort of leaves the charm of drawing by hand present in your drawing. Okay, we've got the belly, now let's do the face. New layer. I'm gonna give myself a little guide just so that my eyes are all on the same line and they're not, you know, all out of whack. And the eyes are just like little circles with little eyelashes coming out, which I think is super cute. So I'm gonna do the same. So I'm gonna draw one little circle right here. And you see this line is roughly halfway. So the belly takes up half the body, and then the eyes are roughly halfway in the top part. Now it's not exactly precise, but let's say it's close enough. I love these little eyelashes. And now for the second eye, I can copy and paste again like we did earlier. 3-finger swipe, duplicate, flip horizontal, move it over. Cute. Now let's do the mouth. Here we go. This is where I take creative license in this project, because while this Squishmallow is super cute, I think we can actually make it even cuter by changing this part. I don't see a smile. For me, kawaii is about joy and happiness. So I'm taking a creative license here, and I'm gonna give our Celestine or Celestine, I don't know how to say it correctly, a nice happy mouth. Fix it up. Make sure it's sort of symmetrical, sort of. And I feel like it's way too big. She's overly joyful, so I'm gonna select this part of the drawing and I'm just gonna like, you know, move it around, adjust it until I feel it says what I want to say. And again, this is why I love using Procreate and digital tools for this kind of work, because I can just test things so quickly. All right, so for the mouth, I want to do extra joyful expression, so it's like she's laughing with a full mouth open. And yeah, you can use any number of kawaii faces that you have. You know, I'm even gonna go ahead and add some cheeks. Why not? You know, this is a Squishmallow inspired drawing. This is not a copy of the Squishmallow. We're just gonna do our own thing here. Nice. Let's do the ears and the wings. And again, remember, digital tools, we can just copy and paste over. So again, I'm starting on the right side because I'm left-handed. So it's kind of convenient for me to work on this side. But if you're right-handed, I suggest starting on the left side. New layer. So the wings, you know, artists have X-ray vision. This is what my art teacher always says. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, there's a bone here, and there's some ligaments here, and there's some skin here. So with that understanding, I can actually draw a realistic looking wing by following that structure. So like if I think this is like where the bone roughly is, you know, and then there are like some smaller ligaments underneath. So I'm giving myself as much sort of guidance and scaffolding as I can, and then I can just draw the decoration over it like that. Wow, this is actually, you see, that turned out like a really good wing. And because you're drawing with that understanding of what's going on underneath the skin, or yeah, I guess it's the skin, you can do it accurately and you can do it very quickly. And it looks believable, right? It looks three-dimensional. So let's copy and paste that over. 3-finger swipe, duplicate, flip, move. Awesome. Our sketch is progressing really well. Let's go for the ears now. I'm gonna give myself a little guide to make sure that they are on the same level, and I'm just gonna draw them. Let's analyze the ears again. Now, if we were to unfold these ears, they kind of look like probably like a triangle that was folded over, something like that. So we are gonna express that in the drawing. Now, understanding this three-dimensionality that is happening in your plushie helps you a lot to draw realistic forms. So that's why I keep going on and on about this. So we have our triangle, right? It's I mean, maybe it's like a cat ear, but it's not really. It's actually curving up. So let's draw that instead. So it's kind of like going out and then down. And because it's folded, the fabric is actually getting pulled upwards. And then it has like this nice little curve at the top because of the fold that we get. And we can just draw the fold right here. Nice. I can adjust the position, I can adjust the size. And at some point, I kind of stop looking at the Squishmallow itself and I start looking at the drawing, because ultimately we are creating an illustration and illustration has to work. So your drawing has to make sense, not necessarily be a replica of the original object. It has to work as a two-dimensional illustration. So in this case, I'm again giving myself creative license and moving it around. Let's copy it over. So you're starting to see the pattern, right? Let's quickly do the horns and this cute little mohawk right here. Now for the mohawk, we can do something really cool because it is kind of actually, if you were to look from the top, it is coming into our front view plane. From here, you see it's coming in. So we can break our outline for that and kind of make it overlap, which will make it extra cute. And there's actually that little bit of stitching right here, which I really like, which we can keep in our illustration. So you see I'm breaking the top line and I'm just drawing this little, I guess it's like a mini egg shape. We have egg shapes on top of egg shapes. That's the word of the day. And then we can see a couple more pieces of horn, you can say, pieces of the mohawk kind of in the back. Now in reality, technically you wouldn't really see it if it was completely front on, but I'm gonna put it in to have more illusion of three-dimensionality and more interest. I think this looks really, really cool. Now, what do you think? Do you like this look? Do you not like this look? Let me know in the comments. And our sketch is done. Let's proceed to the outline. Step 2, create the outline. So before doing the outline, I went ahead and I literally merged all the sketch layers into one layer. One reason is to save the number of layers because we're going to need a lot of layers for coloring, and also so that I can then go ahead and drop the opacity of this outline layer, like make it more semi-transparent, so that as I'm drawing on top of it, I can sort of focus more on the outline and less on the sketch underneath. So make a new layer, and the brush I'm going to use for this is Tat's Smooth Outline. This is will give you like a completely even line width, like a monoline of Procreate. I've made some tweaks to it. I've made it smooth. I've configured it the way I love to use it because I enjoy vector style art, but hand drawn with all of the hand drawn quirks. So like that's my thing. So that's the brush I'm using, and you can grab my brushes for free. In the description, you'll find a link where you can download them. So the size I'm going to use is right here, 27. So I have a 4000 pixels by 4000 pixels canvas. I'm using size 27%. And you can actually save sizes of brushes. You see, as you drag the slider, like the size, Procreate is giving you a little plus sign. So if I wanted to, I could actually go ahead and click a plus and it'll save that brush size. So I have my usual brush sizes saved already. So I like to use 27 is my thick, 14 is my mid-range, and then 4 is like my really thin one. So today we're gonna go for the thick. Let's outline it really, really, really smooth. So the way to get your lines looking really smooth is that you wanna do the whole line in pretty much one smooth path. And the other thing is, so by default my brush comes with a stabilization setting of 45, and for this type of art I like to set it to 72. So you can do that if you want to have an extra smooth result like the one I'm doing here. So one big swooping motion. And then you stop. And this is a kind of a tricky part of where you connect the two pieces. So I try to minimize the number of connections by positioning my sketch already where I can almost go around, but inevitably it's going to happen. So I need to like put my pencil almost in the center, as much as I can in the center of the previous line, and just continue dragging it around like that. And now, yes, I will need to clean up this little connection right here. That's okay. I will just come back and clean it up. Now for the eraser, you want to use the same brush for your eraser and the same size, and that's like the easiest way to get that vector style look, to get your lines really, really smooth in Procreate. Like that. So it looks all nice and professional. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go through and outline the rest of this drawing so we can proceed to color. And that's it. Our outline is done. You'll notice that I didn't outline the cheeks because I'm just gonna drop the color for them instead, but we'll get to it in the next section. Step 3, color your drawing. Now this cutie offers so many interesting things that we can do for color. So one of the things is that we can observe this pattern. It's like a rainbow tie-dye, would you say? Basically, it's variations of color, which we can have so much fun with. We don't have to follow these colors. We can change it, like we can play around with it. We also have different textures. We have like this more smooth, velvety texture. And then here we have a snake skin, like it's literally a 3-dimensional snake skin imprint, which is so cool. And then we've also got glitter right here in the horns. So this is actually giving us 3 different textures that we can add to our kawaii art right here. So step 1, we're gonna turn off the sketch. Actually, let me drop in the cheeks because otherwise we're gonna lose the sketch right here. So that's probably why I almost always draw the cheeks first. Right now I'm gonna grab a random pink, whatever is pink that's nearby, because I'm probably gonna change it later. So I'm just gonna draw a nice little pink. Wow, this pink actually looks so good with purple. Sometimes I wish I could just leave the drawing right here in the outline stage. Actually, I'm having a hard time doing a circle. For cheeks, I do like perfect circles, so I can just draw a rough circle, hold my pencil, let Procreate complete it for me with quick shape, put my finger down, it'll create a perfect circle, let go, and I'm done. Copy it over. Nice. And since we did this part, I'm gonna decide that everything that is sort of pink in this character is gonna be this same pink, because we want to have cohesiveness to the character. We don't want to have like 50 different shades of pink. So yeah, I like to put every color, like all the same colors, all the elements of the same color on one layer, because later on I can play around with it. I can even change it all together. It might not be pink, it might be yellow, but if they are all on one layer, it's super easy to change later. So we're gonna pop this layer below the outline right here, and we're gonna color this in, and also the horn, not the horn. I keep saying the horn because I keep thinking of this as like a unicorn horn. It's really like a little mohawk. Nice. Okay, let's take off the sketch. Beautiful. So should we jump right into the rainbow tie-dye, or should we do the belly? You see, everything in a drawing affects by the colors that are next to it. I can see already, right, that the belly and these little sections are white or light, and this section is darker. So we want to maintain that in our drawing. So maybe we'll start with the belly and the wings first. Let's do that. So it's sort of a yellowy color. So here's how I'm gonna go about it. I'm gonna grab whatever yellow I can find in my nearby palette. And then I'm gonna go to, let's go to the color wheel, to the disc view. And I'm just gonna make it really, really light. I actually like to use the classic view the most because I can, this slider gives me the saturation, and this slider gives me the hue, the type of color it is, and this is how bright it is. So I don't know, I just really, this makes sense to me. So I can just move it around and find the color I want. So we're gonna go with this off-white. Okay, we'll make a new layer and let's fill in all of the areas that we want to be off-white with this nice color. Now with that little bit of yellow, it looks even better. Okay, let's do the fun rainbow tie-dye now. So there are two ways you can go about it. One way is that you can actually find a rainbow tie-dye image and you can bring it in and use that as the fill. So let me show you how to do that. If you're on the iPad, you can gently swipe to bring up the dock and you can grab the browser or wherever you get your images. But in this case, I'm gonna grab the browser and you can move it to the side so you can have the picture side by side view. And then you can squish it over so that you see more of your image. So I'm in Google Images, nothing fancy. And I'm gonna go and say rainbow tie-dye. As you can tell, I've already done this search. Rainbow tie-dye background. So you definitely want to say background from Trust My Mini Tests. That's the search term that returns the best results. And so have a look, see what you get, and click images so that all you get is images. And then if you see something you like, you can click on it and it'll actually give you suggestions of similar pictures. So there is one that I found that is pretty cool, which has got like a bit of texture in it, a little bit similar to our Celestina. I'm just gonna go with Celestina. So you see, it's kind of cool. So all I've got to do is, now this art I'm creating is for fun. If this was a client project or a professional item for a t-shirt, well, I wouldn't really do Squishmallows, right? Because I don't own the rights to it. But if this was a client project, I would not just randomly pull an image from Google because I don't own the rights to it. For practice, for fun, I'm just going to do it as a test. So just something to keep in mind. Now, when you're on Google Images, you can just hold the image and drag it right into Procreate. How cool is that? So we're gonna move it around. We can even decide, like, do we want the pink side up or the green side up? So you just want to like move it around to make it bigger than your drawing because we've got to fill up all these parts. And then we're going to use a clipping mask to clip it to our drawing. Here we go. Nice. Now, in order to be able to clip this image to the outline, it's a good idea to go ahead and create like a stamp of your character that you can then clip things into it. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the entire perimeter and I'm gonna fill it with white. Actually, it can be any color, absolutely any color, just so that we can use that as a clipping mask. See, it's like a little stamp. So now we put our background on top and tap on it and say clipping mask. And just like that, a perfect cutout. So cute. It's looking a little bit dark, but I am not going to mess around with it just yet because we also have this nice little I guess animal print on top of it. So let's go ahead and get that going as well. So the search term that I found for this specific pattern to work is snakeskin texture. No, snakeskin pattern. Or maybe it is texture. Let's see. I played around with a few terms and the one that ultimately gave me the result that I'm looking for is snake skin texture black and white because I was getting a lot of noise in the search results. So there is one I found and it's not 100% what I need, but I know how to, like, I know I'm going to be able to massage it to match our Celestina here. Celestina. Okay, so I'm going to drag it into Procreate and move it to the top, rotate it. And here's the thing, this is only half a story because the vertical pattern kind of works, but we need to like do some surgery here, cut it off and duplicate it and merge it. Make sure it's covering the whole drawing. So we'll put it here. Let's chop off these bits right here. Nice. And now we're gonna, just like what we did with the hand, we flip it over. So we're gonna do the same. 3-finger swipe, duplicate, flip horizontal, move it over. And I like this texture because it's got lots of texture on the sides, but not so much in the middle, because that's where the face is, and we don't want it to compete with the face. So it kind of works. Pinch it down, and oh my goodness, where did the character go? It's okay. So all we gotta do is put it on top right here. And yes, it did cover the background, but don't worry, we're gonna fix that. So this is a black and white texture, which means we can use blending modes in Procreate to make it shine but not take over. So let's just start from the top and experiment. Multiply, darken, color burn, linear burn. I'm just gonna keep scrolling until I see something that works. This is pretty good, it could work. It's a little bit strong. This is good, but we almost don't see it. But it's okay, that could work. I kind of like this version, so this is pin light, and then I can drop down the opacity so that you don't see it as much. But I'm actually gonna pause right here, and I'm gonna show you another way to create this ombre gradient, which is the way that I prefer, because I can totally control the colors and how everything goes. So let's hide this layer for a minute. Let's hide our background layer and put another one on top of it. Let's hide the texture too for a minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a spray paint brush. So I'm gonna go to spray paints, and I'm just gonna grab a fat nozzle right here. You can grab anything really. This is the one that I have. And you see how the colors go, like red, then yellow, then pink, then red again. So we're gonna do that, like start with a hot pink. Again, I'm just gonna grab some colors that I see and gonna paint them in. And you see it's creating like a little bit of a gradient. Don't worry that it's looking so dark, because we can adjust all of this. So you see, beautiful. Look at this beautiful blend that it created. I love that. So we're just gonna go down and fill in everything with different colors. We can also be a little bit strategic here and think about the three-dimensional form that we want to describe, right? We always want to think about the three-dimensional form if we want our kawaii art to come out convincing and professional looking. Even if it's a flat character that's looking like a sticker right here, we still want to remember the three-dimensional form. So I can just gently darken the bottom sections, even though it's not technically shading, but I can just grab a darker purple and very strategically add some more darker stuff right here, like that. And it's gonna create the illusion. I can also do the same like at the base of the wings, and you can adjust the size of your brush, you know, same with, let's say, ears. Doesn't have to be purple, you can grab like pink again. Just, you know, it's like you're sculpting with your background, and that's why I really like this method, because it gives me so much more control. And because we've clipped this layer to the layer below that is like our stamp, it's all very neat, and it's not actually going out of its boundaries. So beautiful. Now let's bring back the texture and see how this works now with this other background. There's no exact, like I cannot tell you which blending mode is gonna work exactly because it just is gonna vary. And I literally just try them right here until I see the one that works. And the one that worked really well for this specific combination was luminosity and turn down opacity to 39%. So that's, you know, we are already getting very close to this cutie right here. You know, except that our version is a digital version and is a little bit different. You know, it's very cool. But there's still a few more enhancements that we can do. Remember those silver horns? Let's add the silver texture. So it's the same exact idea with finding a silver texture on Google or someplace. I'm gonna maybe say silver glitter, silver glitter. This is nice because it has a lot of contrast. So let's bring it in and clip it. Okay, but we need something to clip it too. So first I'm gonna fill that area with color, and maybe I can grab like a light purpley color just to play off that, because when the silver blends, when the silver texture blends with the background, it's gonna assume a hint of the color from it. So let's see. Back to my monoline brush, my Tat Smooth outline. Fill it up. And now we can clip to it. Tap the layer, clipping mask. Nice, and we can play with the blending modes again. Oh, this is good. This is looking pretty magical. So this is screen blending mode. But you see, you can still see a hint of little purpley color here. Nice, very, very cool. Now to bring our Squishmallow to completion, we can add little charms, little shines, you know, we can play around, we can put some shadows, but I'm gonna leave it right here because I'm gonna leave room for you to experiment. The one thing that I will add is add little hearts or something, maybe little shines to the eyes. I just love doing that. So all the way on top, let's go with the hearts. So cute. So now we can step back and marvel at our creation and make any necessary changes that we want to do. So one of the things that I almost always do is make the drawing really small and see, is it still working? You know, I can change the shape or anything, then make it back up. Like, is the background dark enough? I feel like our little pattern could actually be could have a little bit more oomph, because Celestina here has quite a strong pattern going on, and I don't feel like we quite see that in the illustration. So you see all of my text, all of my rainbow, you know, tie-dye is right here on one layer, so I can go to adjustments, hue, saturation, brightness, and I can literally play around with it. Look at this, like it's already having so much more oomph to it. Can make it a little bit darker to increase the contrast, which is almost always good. You can even change the color completely, you know, you can like take it to a pink and blue range, which actually looks really, really cool with a contrasting yellow. You know, it's up to you. So I'm just gonna go back to our original color, but I am gonna leave the other adjustments. So you can see that this was before and this was after the adjustment. It's subtle, but it does definitely give the drawing more oomph. I also feel like there's a little bit of red missing right here, so let's, you know, we can do this because of the way that we've done the layers and the structuring. We're using clipping masks, so that this gives you like maximum amount of flexibility to then go and adjust your drawing. It's very cool. I'm gonna say it one more time. This is why I love digital art so much for character design and process. Like really, I really like drawing by hand. I really love watercolor. When it comes to the speed of, you know, design, digital really rocks. Hey Celestina, meet your digital sister. Oh wow, this is so cool. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you like it. Well, there's still 2 more Squishmallow plushies that you can draw and continue the practice. Think about the 3-dimensional, the big overall shape of the object that you are drawing. So we said that for the Squishmallow, it's mostly looking like an egg, right? Always think about the volume. Consider all the little elements. Consider alignments. Like your face would generally be on the same line, right? So you can always draw a vertical guide and a horizontal guide to help you judge the proportions and to keep your character symmetrical. It's really not hard when you have these types of tools. If you're drawing in Procreate, you can download the same brushes that I use for 99% of my art, Kawaii art, my Tatiana Denis signature brushes. Where you're watching this video, there's a link in description and you can download them absolutely free. I'm so excited to see the drawings of your Squishmallows and the beautiful Kawaii art that you now can create. There are so many cute plushies that you can be inspired by. So now you never have creative block, you never have, I don't know what to draw, because you know how to create kawaii art inspired by a cute plushie. And if you think these guys are super cute and you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Let me know in the comments which Squishmallow plushie you want to draw next.